No, sir.
Now let's try to understand how exactly are we supposed to use this information. Tell me, what is Exhibit 1 all about? शुभ, Exhibit 1 में क्या है बताओ?
Sir, Exhibit 1 tells us about that a scientist is writing to Ken Bowler that they have like discovered a new technique for producing the Cas4 material, and it will be more efficient, and they have to maintain secrecy for for the technique to for manufacturing. So overlook for that.
Okay. ताहिर आप बताइए, what is Exhibit 2 all about?
So Exhibit 2 is about Ken Powler's conference call with directors. He asks them certain questions and takes their views into account, whether it is ethical to proceed with the secrecy option or to license it. And then different directors and finance accountants present their views to Ken Powler.
Okay. Who can tell me what is Exhibit 3 all about?
Sir, Exhibit 3 gives a expected financial information about the secrecy option or the licensing option. Both are mentioned for
Hmm.
the finance department to see which one is like better.
Okay. And which exhibit contains calculations and numbers?
3, Exhibit
Exhibit 3. Exhibit 3. What calculations are there in the third exhibit?
The net present value of both the options, and also there is also not calculation but also information regarding what will be the benefits if we go ahead with the secrecy option.
Okay. And what is Exhibit 4? Is it some sort of an article or is it a blog? What is it?
Sir,
It's
I
a
have a
blog.
question on that. I was not able to understand, like, is it how is it relevant to this case, and I didn't get why is this information here. So
But you haven't read the tasks, have you?
no, I haven't, no, I had not read.
Then how can you make this conclusion as to whether it is relevant or not?
No, no, I read the exhibit 4, but I didn't understood like what are they trying to uh, explain or tell us in the information. So
Okay. And Pakka nobody went through the tasks, right? The reason I'm asking is that whenever you come across a question in SBL or any other paper for that matter, the first thing that you should do is you should read the requirement. In SBL, it is all the more relevant to be doing that first. You will soon see why exactly am I saying that. ठीक है. अब ये जो tasks है, what are these tasks? This is basically what the examiner wants you to do. अब सबसे पहले when you look at these tasks ना, don't think about it as a मतलब सबसे पहले don't, when you read the whole requirement, there is the first step you should do is you should try to summarize the requirement in as few words as possible. ठीक है. उसमें we'll basically make a format key. What are the professional skills that are going to be tested? What does it have to be made in the form of an email? Is it a report? Is it a briefing note? What is it? तो अपना सबसे पहला काम ये रहेगा कि we'll go through the requirements and we'll try to understand कि यहाँ पे exactly what is it that they want us to do. ठीक है. So let me take you to the exhibits now. Your with the tasks, your first task is to A, look at this information and try to see if you can correlate it with a specific exhibit. ठीक है. The board is still uncertain as to whether or not to disclose the science team's discovery. This will be a major event in the company's history, which could fundamentally change its business model. Assuming the role of financial director Ken Bowler, you have been asked by Nelson Kober, SHC's chief executive, to assess whether or not to disclose the discovery of the new sync method to rivals. Prepare brief notes for meeting with Nelson Kober. The notes should cover the following areas. ठीक है. Ritesh, can you read requirement A for us?
Yes, sir. Assess the decision to follow the secrecy option from an ethical point of view. Professional skill marks are available for illustrating commercial acumen in demonstrating awareness of organizational and wider external factors affecting the decision.
Okay. Second task, distinguish between strategic risk and operational risk and explain why secrecy option would be a source of strategic risk. Mansi, can you read what is written below?
No, yes, sir, yeah. Uh, Professional skill marks are available for illustrating analysis skills and investigating the risk associated with the secrecy option. It also became obvious that Nelson wasn't sure as to why all of the benefits of the project had not been included in the evaluation.
Okay. Anything about professional skills? Which skill have they mentioned which skill is going to be tested? No.
Analysis.
Analysis. Okay. Uh, and Pari, can you read subtask C for us?
Prepare a handout for board members explaining the different types of benefits expected from the secrecy option and why some of these benefits have not been included in the net present value calculations. Professional skill marks are available for illustrating evaluation skills in assessing the benefits identified for the project.
Okay. Now let's do one thing. Let's analyze the tasks and the requirements. ठीक है. It will keep ठीक है. यहां पे लिखो टास्क नंबर 1A 1B ये इतना बड़ा रिक्वायरमेंट है. ठीक है, ये बैकग्राउंड इंफॉर्मेशन है. ये इतना बड़ा रिक्वायरमेंट है. In short, can you put it across in 5 to 6 words? Secrecy option from an ethical point of view. ठीक है. Secrecy option from ethical POV. What is POV? POV is point of view. ठीक है. Then you should note down what are the professional skills. Commercial acumen in demonstrating awareness of organization and wider external factors affecting decision. Now, commercial acumen, but na commercial acumen एकदम it's not left for you to interpret. उन्होंने explain किया है कि commercial acumen कैसे आएगा. Awareness of organizational and wider external factors. Awareness of organization, organizational factors and
external factors.
wider external factors. ठीक है. Any other अच्छा. Now look at this task and tell me, can you correlate it with a specific exhibit?
Exhibit 1.
किसी और एग्जिबिट में इसके बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन है?
Sir, in Exhibit 2, because the
Exhibit 2.
directors are discussing about,
Specifically, Exhibit 2, sir.
yeah,
Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2 or both?
Both.
Exhibit 2 only.
Okay, how many of you in favor of just Exhibit 2? Please raise your hand.
But sir, in Exhibit 1, Nelson is uncertain about the decision, and in Exhibit 2, he is asking all the people to give their views on that.
Okay. Now, people who are in favor of both, raise your hands. बाकी के लोग, no, no opinion. Only 3-4 people are expressing some.
Exhibit 2, maybe, because
Okay.
it's including discussions and all regarding the environment and the other
I
topics.
think both the exhibits.
For now, most of you are saying Exhibit 1 and 2, so दोनों लिख के रखते हैं. Let's see if it is actually the requirement. यहाँ पे distinguish between strategic and operational risk. Explain why secrecy option would be a source of strategic risk. Difference between strategic and operational risk. Strategic and operational risk. Second part. Why secrecy option gives strategic risk? Why secrecy option creates strategic risk? ठीक है. इसमें professional skills for illustrating
Analysis skills.
analysis. Any specific exhibit again?
Exhibit 2.
Exhibit 3.
Exhibit 3.
No.
3 कहाँ से आया?
It's more about the analytical perspective and also strategically values change हो सकती हैं. Exhibit 2 can also be a part, but Exhibit 3 calculations can be used as a part of analytical procedure.
Okay. And
Maybe
what
I'm
makes
wrong.
you... The question is about risk, okay? The question does not talk about any calculations or reference to any calculations. So,
Yes, that's why I said option said Exhibit 2 also, because it has a specific point on the strategy, since they're discussing that this might be a strategy drift, or they've already planned something. So this would be a very costly procedure to change.
so you're saying Exhibit 2 and 3?
Yeah, we can consider 3, sorry, but 2 is definitely there as a description part.
Okay. Task 3. Prepare a handout for board members explaining the different types of benefits expected from secrecy option and why some of these benefits have not been included in the NPV calculation. This very clearly points to Exhibit 3 for sure, because there is something mentioned about the NPV working, right? So how should I summarize that? Prepare a handout explaining different types of benefits expected from secrecy option. Benefits from secrecy option. Why some benefits not included in NPV? ठीक है. What skill? Evaluation, है ना? You should also make a separate column for expected format. ठीक है. Now you have to look at this data and tell me if there is a specific format that is given. जैसे in this one, they have said prepare a handout. Handout.
बट सर सबसे पहले ही ऊपर उन्होंने मेंशन किया ना कि ब्रीफ नोट्स करके.
वो तो ब्रीफिंग नोट्स नहीं बोला है ना, ब्रीफ नोट्स बोला है. द वर्ड ब्रीफ मीन्स शॉर्ट. ब्रीफिंग नोट्स नहीं बोला है. ब्रीफिंग नोट्स, if that was the expectation, they would have written the word briefing notes.
ओके सर, या
ठीक है.
ओके सर.
इन दोनों में is there a specific format that they have prescribed?
No, sir.
No.
No.
ठीक है. So you should try to prepare this for every question in the exam so that in one place you have all the requirements expressed in the bare minimum number of words. अपना challenge क्या है? The challenge is कि यार the data sometimes becomes too overwhelming and then we have to again and again, we have to go back to the same exhibits, same tasks and try to analyze. यहाँ पे जो भी है वो एक जगह पे अपना all information is there. ठीक है. अब with this information now, let's see. यहाँ पे the verb is assess. यहाँ पे the verb is distinguish and explain. यहाँ पे the verb is explain different types of risks from the secrecy of different types of benefits expected from secrecy option and why some of these benefits have not been included in the net present value calculation. So the verb part na is also very important in SBL. Baki papers mein it's okay if you don't pay attention to that, but here again it's very important to know what is the verb. यहाँ पे क्या है? Assess. Okay, I'll also show you what difference does this make. यहाँ पे explain, यहाँ पे explain.
Sir, explain and distinguish. Second में.
Explain and why some of these explain
नहीं,
ही.
B वाले में distinguish between and
No,
explain.
distinguish is not the verb that I'm looking at. Let me show you what I mean. ठीक है. Now ACCA, they have what the body has done is they have given us a list of verbs. ठीक है. These verbs basically guide you on how exactly or what is the expectation in that question. ठीक है. It depends upon if the word is explain, if the verb is assess. So that basically makes a lot of difference to how exactly your answer is going to be framed. ठीक है. अब what does the verb assess mean to you in simple English? Tell me.
Like list down its pros and cons.
Okay. Anyone else?
To make a decision.
We should try to identify the root cause of any problem. Or
Okay. Okay. Others?
Understand its consequences.
Okay.
Sir, can you repeat the question? There was a technical glitch from my end.
I said, what is the English language meaning of the verb explain? Sorry, assess.
To give an opinion.
Pros and cons.
Okay. Others?
Sir, we have to check out or judge the requirement.
Okay. ठीक है. Let's evaluate that. But before we do it, if you remember the other day, we discussed communication skill and then I showed you different formats. Here we have to look at for this question analysis, evaluation and commercial acumen. ठीक है. So I'll take you to the professional skills first. I'll show you short videos on that so that you understand what is ACCA's expectation and then let's build on that further. ठीक है. पहले मैं आपको commercial acumen दिखा रहा हूँ.
A professional accountant must possess a range of professional skills, and you must demonstrate these in your exam. These skills include commercial acumen, which basically means you should make commercially sound decisions when resolving issues and exploiting opportunities. As part of this, you must show awareness of the external environment in which an organization operates. To show commercial acumen, you should demonstrate a combination of business awareness, effective judgment, and insight. In your exam, you may be asked to make recommendations to an audit committee of safeguards that could be implemented to reduce fraud levels at a rail company. To demonstrate commercial acumen, you must give a variety of recommendations that deal with the issue in different ways. Then, focusing on the individual recommendations themselves, consider these two alternatives to manage the risk that customers travel without paying for their journey. Firstly, the company could install ticket barriers at all major stations, or alternatively, the company could recruit a large number of ticket inspectors that will check every passenger's ticket. Which recommendation shows the best commercial acumen? Well, the ongoing staffing cost and potential delays and disruption caused by manual checking of tickets mean that this is probably not a practical long-term solution. Installation of ticket barriers is the better option. Finally, for this example, in order to maximize your professional skills mark, ensure you justify your recommendations demonstrating insight where possible. So, when recommending installation of ticket barriers, you could suggest that this would be subject to a cost-benefit analysis, which would include the time saving of automated barriers compared to manual ticket checking. Demonstrating commercial acumen is something that you will do as you answer the detailed requirements and will not be a separate section in your answer. To maximize your commercial acumen marks, consider the following 3 points. Focus on a variety of matters which will be affected by the issue in the question. Focus on relevant areas only. Otherwise, it will waste time and make you appear unprofessional. Finally, make sure any recommendations are feasible and always try to consider people as well as numbers. It's people that achieve the numbers.
Okay, let's first of all begin with what is the meaning of commercial acumen. Commercial acumen primarily means, are you able to make wise business decisions? Commercial acumen primarily hints at, say, for example, you have two different projects in front of you in the question. One project gives you an NPV of 10,000, the other project gives you an NPV of 6,000. Are you wise enough to choose that project which gives you the higher NPV? Or you could have a question where, say, for example, payback period. In one particular proposal, the payback period happens quicker. In another proposal, the payback period happens later. But this proposal mein payback period is happening earlier. In that particular proposal, after year 5, there are negative cash flows that are happening. So a commercially wise decision means you should not get affected by uh, so basically, you should not let that affect your decision. Ki yaar, jaldi payback is happening, so let me prefer that option. You should consider the fact that after year 5, there are negative cash flows that have happened, which means you should not get carried away and you should not choose that first project which gives you your payback quicker. Instead, you should focus on the other project which takes a longer time to pay back, but at least which does not have negative cash flows happening for you. Okay. So commercial acumen, you need analysis of external factors affecting the business, internal factors affecting the business, and do you have do you have the ability to decide between different options and different opportunities? Being commercially wise, being commercially sound is the expectation of this particular professional skill. अब जैसे communication skill में there is a format. There is no specific format that you have to follow here. But yes, of course, it is important to know कि दोनों तीनों, if you have 3, 4, 5, whatever number of options, are you able to choose that option which gives you a higher return or which minimizes your cost? So, these are the different factors that need to be kept in mind. ठीक है? Okay. Now, there is another skill that they are looking at, which is the skill of analysis and evaluation. Let's have a look at that one.
सर एक्सक्यूज मी सर आपने अभी कुछ लास्ट में आपने फिर से जो कमर्शियल एक्यूमेन के बारे में बताया, लाइक मे यू प्लीज रिपीट, लाइक आई लॉस्ट द नेटवर्क एंड ड्यू टू दैट आई कुडंट हियर.
Guys, it's a little difficult to do this again and again. Huh? I'm really sorry. अभी मैं कर रहा हूँ. See, I don't read from a script ना, तो मुझे exactly नहीं याद कि मैंने क्या बोला at what point in time. But because somebody's network is getting affected, it's little difficult for me to go back and repeat the same thing. I'm not reading from a script. ठीक है? So थोड़ा सा that much you will have to take into consideration.
Analysis is one of the key professional skills on which you'll be tested in your exam. Analysis means logically investigating and processing information to respond to a question or request, or to meet a stated objective. To demonstrate effective analysis, you need to be able to compare information, explain why a certain piece of information is important, and explain the implications of the information. For example, in the exam, you may be asked to prepare a report to the board that reviews the performance of a company over the past 3 years. Let's say you are provided with management accounts and minutes of board meetings for the past 3 years, annual customer survey results, and a recently published industry research report. How would you use the information provided to review company performance whilst demonstrating sound analysis skills? Let's follow a logical approach. Firstly, the management accounts are provided for a reason. Use the numbers to calculate ratios and other financial measures. What do the results show? Use the board minutes to help you discuss the financial performance data, providing comments and possible explanations. Next, what do the results of the customer survey suggest? Are customers happy or are they dissatisfied? Is there a risk the company will lose customers in the future? And finally, what about the external performance of the business? Use the recently published industry report to compare the company performance against industry-wide data. What does it show? Is the company performing well in comparison to its competitors? It's vital to use all the information available to you to ensure you are able to give a well-rounded assessment of company performance in your report to the board. Ensure you allocate sufficient time to review each exhibit. In the exam, when you are required to demonstrate analysis, ask yourself 3 questions. What information is available? Use numerical information to perform calculations to support your analysis. How does the information compare from one year to another or to competing business or industry average? What does the information mean? Consider the impact it will have on the business.
Okay. One more video, huh? Before. Can you see this? Can you see my screen? Evaluation wala?
Effective
Yes, sir.
evaluation
Yes, sir.
is the required skill of a professional accountant, both in the real world and in your exam. It can be demonstrated across 3 areas: by assessing and using professional judgments when considering issues or problems facing the organization in the exam scenario, estimating trends and making reasoned forecasts of the implications of potential decisions available to the organization, appraising facts, opinions, and findings objectively with a view to balancing the costs, risks, benefits, and opportunities before recommending solutions or decisions. In your exam, you may be asked by the board of directors to write a business case, which evaluates a potential significant investment in a new IT system. You should start by assessing the current situation and the potential need for the new system. For example, is there evidence of problems with the current system which may be reducing the quality of service provided to customers? This should lead on to discussing the resulting benefits of a new system. For instance, a better experience for customers, leading on to improved financial performance. Wherever possible, you should estimate or forecast the actual impact on areas such as revenue and profitability. In order to present a balanced argument, you need to consider any downsides to the investment. This may include risks associated with financing the venture, so you could appraise the accessibility and cost of finance relative to the current status of the organisation. Finally, your business case would make a recommendation to the board on whether to proceed with the investment in the new IT system or not. Remember, you will score marks for a sensible recommendation as long as it's supported by your arguments. So, the best ways to give your overall answer a strong structure and to demonstrate the skill of evaluation are to create a balanced argument. Use headings such as advantages and disadvantages, or benefits and risks to make sure you cover both sides of the issue. Create a broad argument. Just using information or ideas from one area isn't enough. Consider financial and non-financial issues across different relevant requirements. Conclude or recommend. As we saw in our example, you are likely to be asked to evaluate a proposal, and the audience want to know whether they should go ahead. Tell them your opinion, and back this up by summarizing the key advantage or disadvantage, or benefit or risk.
Okay, so analysis and evaluation in other P-level papers, these two skills are clubbed together. In SBL, they are different. Analysis will basically mean, suppose जैसे इस situation में they have given you one statement of NPV, ठीक है? Analysis is looking at a situation so as to bring yourself to a position of making a decision. Evaluation could involve comparing two different options and choosing the best one that works for the company. What is your interpretation of these two skills after watching the video? Tell me. Analysis is investigation, research information from a variety of sources, process the information, and then, if the question says, recommend an appropriate course of action. ठीक है? Evaluation means दो situations को दो तीन whatever number of situations, look at the pros and cons of the argument, look at it in a balanced manner, use your professional judgment to predict future outcomes through proper decisions, right? So analysis is investigation, going in depth, looking at numbers, looking at different sources of data so as to recommend an appropriate course of action. Evaluation looking at different situations, comparing, again थोड़ा यहाँ पे भी pros and cons वाला part आएगा, balancing them out and then being able to make a decision. ठीक है? अब यहाँ पे let's come back to the question now to understand यहाँ पे करना क्या है. Secrecy option from ethical point of view, difference between strategic and operational risk, why secrecy option creates strategic risk, and why some benefits are not included in NPV. Okay, let's read this. Let's read exhibit 1 and 2 and keep this in mind that we need to evaluate secrecy option from an ethical standpoint. This is an email regarding the new sync method discovery from Nelson sent on 21st August to Ken sync method project. ठीक है? शुभ Can you read from here? Hi, Nelson.
Yes, sir.
Read the first three paragraphs.
Yeah.
And acha, before anyone starts putting their minds, you have to understand secrecy option from an ethical point of view. Okay, so keep these two words, secrecy and ethical point of view, in mind. Ab padho.
Hi Nelson. Early last week, our scientist team discovered a massive breakthrough for the production of our major product, the Cas4. I won't bore you but we have discovered a way known as the sync method, which will enable us to produce the Cas4 at a lower unit cost and in much higher volumes than the current process. It would also produce lower unit environmental emissions and would substantially improve the reliability of the Cas4 product. This has the potential to have a massive impact on cash for sales and our share in this market. I've spent this week using my contacts and research skills, and I am certain that no one else in the world has figured out a way to do this. This will completely blow our rivals out of the water. The sales team agree with me that if we do this, then we'll take over the entire market. We have currently got over 30% of the market, but with this discovery, we could have virtually 100% of the market to ourselves within 4 years.
Okay. Now, what is the यहाँ पे क्या है? Early last week, our team discovered a massive breakthrough for production of our major product. I won't bore you with that, but we have discovered a way known as the sync method, which will enable us to produce Cas4 at a lower unit cost and in higher volumes. Anything about secrecy here? No. It would also produce lower unit environmental emissions and would substantially improve the reliability of the Cas4 product. This has the potential to have a massive impact on Cas4 sales and our share in the market. I have spent the week using my contacts and research skills, and I'm certain that no one else in the world has figured out a way to do this. This will completely blow our rivals out of the water. Anything with respect to secrecy?
No, sir.
No.
Sales team agree with me that if we do this, then we'll take over the entire market. We have currently got 30% of the market, but with this discovery, we could have virtually 100% of the market to ourselves within 4 years. Anything with respect to secrecy? No.
No, sir.
No, sir.
वरदान, ये पैराग्राफ पढ़ तो डीबीसी वाला.
DBC have been trying to apply the sync method for years, but I am reliably informed that they are still several years from working out the right way to do it. By the time they do so, it will be too late. We'll be the single source supplier in this industry and everyone else will have disappeared. I've spoken with Mike in the finance function and we came up with two ways to go forward with this. Mike's team have created estimated returns for the two possibilities. I asked them to perform some calculations for me and I'll send you them in the morning. But you will see that we can make over $200 million from this if we follow my recommended options of just keeping this discovery secret and blowing our rivals away.
Wait.
Mike said that his team.
Wait. इसमें कुछ है secrecy का?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
क्या है?
Yes.
That he has recommended to keep this option secret, like the new technology to be secret within the company, so that will fetch us $200 million of cash flow in future.
And blow our rivals away.
Those are words for effect. वो कुछ नहीं है. I've spoken with Mike in finance and we came up with two ways to go forward. Mike's team have created estimated returns for two possibilities. I asked them to perform some calculations for me and I'll send you them in the morning. But you will see that we can make over 200 million from this if we follow my recommended option of just keeping this discovery secret and blowing our rivals away. Tell me something. The question requirement is secrecy from ethical standpoint. What is the task? Assess the decision to follow secrecy. Here, the only point that is mentioned is that you need to keep it a secret. और कुछ दिया है यहाँ पे? No. So technically, Exhibit 1 so far has not been able to answer task 1A. ठीक है? Medha, can you read the last two paragraphs?
Yes, sir. Mike said that his team could only include the financial benefits in their calculation, but it's not just financial benefits that we'll get from this. There are loads of other benefits, including ones for the Swanhill community. There's so much more to discuss with this, but I just couldn't wait to tell you about it. Everyone else is sworn to silence about this, and I've tried to limit the amount of people who know about. Sonja.
This is just, in my opinion, all of this is a very emotional email. This has got nothing to do with decision to follow secrecy option from an ethical standpoint. अब ये देखो, Ken Bowler's conference call with directors. Okay. Mansi, can you read यहाँ
Yes,
से
yeah.
लेके यहाँ तक?
हाँ सर. Ken Bowler's conference call with directors. Ken Bowler question: keeping this scientific discovery to ourselves and not releasing it to our rivals could have the serious implications for the industry. Have you any thoughts on how we should proceed? Edwin Kiyama, I am strongly in the favor of the secrecy option. The board owes it to the Swanhill Company shareholders to take the option that would maximize the shareholders' value. The sync method should not be licensed to the competitors and should be pursued as fast as possible. Alison Manila, I am looking at the issue from an ethical perspective. I wonder whether Swanhill Company has the right, even if it had the ability to put the competitors out of the business. All Hamills, the secrecy option is the best way to secure the long term employment for all of our staff and secure the future of the Swanhill as a manufacturing base.
Now, first and third जो individuals है, they seem to be in favor of keeping it a secret.
Secrecy option.
Second one is saying कि do we have the ethical right or the moral right to put competitors out of business? Should you be worrying about the survival of your competitors? I think this is extremely Anupama type behavior, na?
Yes, sir.
I don't want the other person to be impacted. I mean, you are not here for charity, right? At the end of the day, you are here for business. And if you are here for business, what difference does it make if your competitors continue or, they are thrown out? So that is one point that we need to consider. But from an ethical standpoint, keeping it a secret would maximize shareholder value. ठीक है? Looking at the issue from an ethical perspective, uh, is it right to put competitors out of business and secure long-term employment, future of Swanhill as a manufacturing base? ठीक है, अब
Sir?
हाँ,
एक्चुअली ना मुझे एक ये सेंटेंस नहीं समझ आ रहा था. द बोर्ड ओव्स टू इट्स एचएस स्वैनिल कंपनी शेयर होल्डर्स टू टेक द ऑप्शन. मतलब बोर्ड ओव्स मतलब इन द सेंस वो लोग क्या बोलना चाह रहे हैं?
board owes मतलब what do you mean by owes? Do you know? When I say I owe you 1,000 rupees, what does that mean?
You are liable to.
Has to pay.
Yeah.
मैं
What
जिससे
is to
पूछूंगा only that person should answer. ठीक है. So when I say that board owes it to SHC's shareholders, the board is ultimately answerable, or it is the board's responsibility towards the shareholders of SHC. ठीक है. अच्छा, how many of you have 9 paper exemptions? Please raise your hands. Not Vardhan, because you have written other papers. How many of you have 9 paper exemptions? Okay. Okay. ठीक है. No, just wanted to get an understanding. I have underlined 3 points which I believe should be considered. Okay. Tahir, Ken Bowler's question: have we the ability to go it alone on this new method? Can you read these 2 points?
Yes, sir. Ken Bowler question: have we the ability to go it alone on this new method? Lee Jang: to gain the full benefits of the sync method with either option would require complete refitting of the factory and the largest capital investment that HSC has ever undertaken. Sean Ningal: Pressing ahead with investment under the secrecy option is not without risk. First, we would have to finance the investment, probably initially through debt, and second, there are risks associated with any large investment. The licensing option would, over many years, involve the inflow of massive funds in royalty payments from competitors using the HSC's patented sync method. By pursuing the licensing option, HSC could retain our market leadership in the short term without incurring risk, whilst increasing our industry dominance in the future through careful investment of the royalty payments that would be obtained from existing rivals being tied into licensing agreements for the technology.
Okay.
Can Bala question? Okay.
Now, anything from an ethical standpoint here, again, go to the task. Secrecy option from an ethical standpoint. Anything with respect to secrecy that you could see in Ken Bowler's question? कुछ मिला यहाँ पे? No.
No, sir.
No.
No, sir.
That basically gives us this confidence here. You don't have to come back to this paragraph when you are framing your answer. ठीक है? Now, the reason I'm asking someone else to read is, my throat is in a very bad shape. Ritesh, एक बार ये वाला पढ़िए. Do you think this new sync method will be a success? Can you read this part for us?
Yes, sir. Do you think this new sync method will be a success? Edwin Kama. Business strategy is all about gaining competitive advantage, and this is a chance to do exactly that. Once we have decided on the best way forward, I can incorporate this into my regular customer briefings and discussion groups. We can get some vital feedback from them, which will be invaluable in marketing this in the right way and making it a success. Lee Jang, this will throw our existing strategy plans into disarray. We have had these plans in place for a long time and we are working towards clear strategic objectives. Those objectives can still be achieved with this new method, but there will be considerable short-term disruption. Ali Hamels, it's likely that some workforce jobs will have to be redesigned, but we have some of the best staff in the world, and I'm confident that they can make this a success. CN Ningal, as you know yourself, Ken, we have grown revenue year on year for the last 5 years, and our shareholders and lenders are very happy. We have proven to be successful and resilient to any business changes, and to me, this is just a chance to continue our tradition of innovating and leading the market. We are constantly benchmarking ourselves against our rivals across a wide range of areas, and we are ahead in most measures already. This new sync method will only help in cementing that.
Okay. Anything with respect to secrecy?
No, sir.
No.
Okay.
No, sir.
Today, I'm only focusing on how to pick up relevant points for your answer. ठीक है? I'm not going to spend I'm not going to spend too much time on structure, but only on where to pick up our answer from. ठीक है? अब we should recognize that not only do we as a company strive to act ethically, but many of our investors, some of which are members of my non-executive board, also have a strong ethical process. This shouldn't just be about what's best for the wealth of our shareholders. We also need to think about whether Swanhill has the capacity to fit in a factory of this size. It's likely that we may end up with a more geographically diverse workforce if we go forward with the secrecy option. That will make it harder to monitor areas such as staff motivation, satisfaction, and performance. Again, assess the decision to follow secrecy from an ethical point of view, illustrating commercial acumen in demonstrating awareness of organizational and wide external factors. So, not only should your answer talk about the secrecy option from an ethical standpoint, the answer is asking you to demonstrate commercial acumen. And what is commercial acumen? Being able to make sound decisions for the business as a whole. Now, this answer, if you look at, what they have given at the back, they've basically used a model which by the way is not there in the Kaplan study text. Okay. Now the point is, even without that particular model, you can still get your answer right. Okay. For that, it's critical that first of all you understand कि कितने marks का task है. This is a task worth 9 marks. Okay. And one part of it and 4 marks are for professional skills. The first question that comes to anyone's mind is, how many points should we write for n number of marks? See, it's unfair to say कि 9 marks होगा तो 9 points लिखो. You ideally shouldn't say that. 1 mark for citing the point, 1 mark for explaining the point. ठीक है. अब how will you evaluate the ethical perspective here? Come to the task. ठीक है. Sorry, come to the exhibit. Can you identify some of the pointers that we'll consider for evaluating whether it is ethical or not? ये एडविन कियामा वाला पैराग्राफ देखो. The board owes it to the shareholders to take the option that would maximize shareholder value. Now, what is the objective of any business? The objective of any business is to maximize shareholder wealth. Company has taken money from the shareholders, so it is the company's responsibility to generate wealth for the shareholders. So वो एक objective with respect to profitability, with respect to wealth creation is, is getting fulfilled. ठीक है. Then let's talk about the second paragraph. Second paragraph mein this person is asking, is it right for us to put our competitors out of business? ठीक है. When you say is something, I mean, this is normal competitive behavior, right? If you were to share all your secrets with a competitor, then you are basically doing charity, right? You are not in business. So maintaining that secrecy is a part of normal competitive behavior and it is legal also. Now let's talk about whether it is fair or not. यहाँ पे they have mentioned that secrecy option is the best way to secure long-term employment for all our staff and secure the future of Swanhill as a manufacturing base. Is it fair to see, naturally, for your shareholders, your employees, and your team, this is a fair option. It will definitely be unfair to the other company because, it weakens them. But since when was being competitive considered immoral or unethical? Being competitive is very much within the frame of, the ethical perspective. Then the one point that they are trying to emphasize here is, see, when 2 or more businesses come together, or if mergers happen, then the number of competitors goes down, and which is why certain mergers are opposed by the competition authorities in the country. We have seen questions like this in AFM. यहाँ पे what the way we can evaluate this is, or the point of view we need to keep in mind is कि if you throw away all the competition, it might lead to some sort of industry dominance or monopolistic tendencies, which means if this company becomes a monopoly, then it might be in a position, where it will exploit the it will exploit the customers, it will exploit the consumers of that particular item. Why? Because see, if you are the sole player in the market, you have the right to decide the price of any product that you are selling. You are not governed by the prices that your competitors are charging. And if that were the case, ठीक है, if that were the case, then what impact do you think it would create? Naturally, you will drive all competition away. You will make a lot of profits, but it will be at the expense of it might be at the expense of the customers in general. So while driving competition away is great, there is a possibility that while doing so, you might put consumers in a difficult position. But from Swanhill company's perspective, it might be considered right. Also, what the company is trying to do is it wants to create value for the local community, है ना? The community only built the company and they are trying to create values and benefits for the community. That might be that might be acceptable. Now, anything else that you can pick from here? I gave you 4 points, right? And I picked those 4 points from the first 6, 7 lines. आगे देखो. Do you see? I mean, you rejected this, then you rejected this specific part, and then you rejected this particular part also. But यहाँ पे, read the last 2 paragraphs once again. Not only do we as a company strive to act ethically, but many of our investors, some of which are members of my non-executive board, also have a strong ethical process. This shouldn't just be about what's best for the wealth of our shareholders. So they have a, they want the company to work ethically, and they are saying that only shareholder wealth creation cannot be our perspective. और कुछ दिख रहा है आपको यहाँ पे?
सर एक डाउट था
हम्म
लास्ट में जैसे they have mentioned that the most of the investors some of which are member of non-executive board
हम्म
तो ये तो लाइक काफी conflicting statement नहीं हो रही the NEDs are supposed to be not have the share in the company like they otherwise they would take some actions that are not in the favor of the ethics maybe if I'm getting that right.
Your point is that investors should not be a part of non-executive board, correct?
Right.
While that may be a fair point, how is it relevant to secrecy and ethics? Right
Maybe
now,
on the
evaluate only from that perspective. Don't go in different directions which have got nothing to do with the
okay.
task at hand. ठीक है? अभी आपका फोकस सिर्फ टास्क पे होना चाहिए. Yes, ताहिर?
Hello.
हम्म
Sir, I was saying that this person, Alison Manila, says this shouldn't just be about what's best for the wealth of our shareholders. So, in the point above, which was mentioned by Ali Hamels in first few lines, he says that it is for the community members of Swanhill. So, what is the difference between that and the community members of
I couldn't hear you, huh? See, when they say we want to secure the future of Swanhill as a manufacturing base, what they are trying to say is that their local town or their local community, they want to strengthen that particular community. ठीक है? Yes, Tahir. Can you speak again? Maybe we can. Can you repeat the point?
Sir, I was saying that Alison Manila says that it should not be just about maximization of wealth maximization of shareholders. So I was saying that they are taking care of the community members, local people of Swanhill. So they are considering various aspects.
Okay. Can you elaborate a little on this?
So that is what I wanted to say, sir, that Alison Manila is saying that it should not be about wealth maximization of shareholders, but
Yeah.
instead they are taking care of other aspects too. So they are doing the right thing, na? That is what I wanted to say.
Yeah. That is a fair point, and they are doing the right thing. See, यहाँ पे you are evaluating this answer from an ethical standpoint. But see, ताहिर आपने जो बोला उसमें कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. My only point of view is कि whatever you write and whatever you evaluate, you should make sure that you stick only to the facts of the case. अब any other action is consistent or not, ये notice करना is a very good thing. But doing that or analyzing that is not adding to the value in your answer. ठीक है? When you are evaluating this particular secrecy perspective, what we are trying to say is कि देखो भाई, keeping it a secret, how correct is that? How ethical is that? अब उसके लिए you need to check quite a lot of other aspects, जैसे is it legal, is it profitable, is it fair? उस सब aspects से evaluate करो. The fact that you have been able to spot consistency, great. But let मतलब let's not get too excited with that part of the analysis कि अरे I was able to find out whether there is any inconsistency or not. किया great है, but we are not forensic auditors here. Please keep that in mind. Now,
Okay,
any
sir.
from an environmental standpoint that you can I'll take you back to exhibit 1. See if you have anything from an environmental standpoint here. कुछ
Yes,
No,
sir,
sir.
second
Lower
paragraph में लिखा
emissions.
है.
second paragraph. Can you tell me what's there in the second paragraph?
Like it when we are producing this it would reduce the like environmental emissions and improve the like reliability, like so we can be reliable for that product.
Okay,
ट्रस्ट किया जा सकता है प्रोडक्ट के ऊपर.
okay. ठीक है. अब let me show you the 5 points. देखो एक बार. It's okay to not have the same headings as long as what you are writing is on these lines. Go through this once. We have discussed these very points right now. I just want you to read it एक बार.
सर सॉरी टू इंटरप्ट, एक चीज कंफर्म करनी थी.
हम्म.
Like we are just saying about it should not be just about the shareholders. If they are trying to sustain the technology with themselves only, but there will be the monopoly of the market, and they might drive the prices higher.
हम्म.
So that might not be in the favor of customers as per the like ethical standards,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. See,
So
driving prices up is technically not unethical as long as you are still giving a level competitive field to other participants in the market.
right,
When is that a problem? That becomes a problem when
essential goods,
you make the atmosphere such that other competitors are not able to participate. मतलब, like what happened in case of Jio. Jio threw away almost all the competition, right? Now you have only two other players in the market, Vodafone Idea, which is useless, and Airtel. Now, if
right?
the number of players becomes lesser, see, it doesn't mean that Jio will immediately drive the prices up, but Jio is in a position to exploit customers. So we have to evaluate it from that competition wala angle.
Okay.
ठीक है. देखा?
Sir, how do we distinguish between the 2 points, fairness and right ethical acceptability?
Now, fairness is basically making sure that all of your stakeholders are kept happy. Ethical acceptability is at one point in time, are you see what you might be doing, is what Geo did. It drove all the competition out of the market. It was fair for its customers and shareholders because they were getting value. But if while doing that, you are making use of certain illegal means, okay, or while doing that, you are circumventing certain laws, regulations, and traditions in order to gain an unfair competitive advantage, you're talking about that problem here.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है.
Sir,
हाँ जी.
sir, with this secrecy option, where we have to evaluate that is it ethical or not. So here we are just giving like the different possibilities, that is it ethically right or ethically wrong, correct? Was simple
Yeah,
language.
yeah.
So in the last point, sustainability or environmental impact, we have
Hmm.
also mentioned that industry wide it will be, if this licensing can be allowed, so it will help the industry wide to control the emissions. So we are also not giving suggestions about that.
So, see, what we are trying to say is कि if we only have the access to this particular process, then we get the benefit out of it. And out of, say, if our market share, I think we had seen that in pre-scene कि हमारा market share is 30%, right? So out of the total output in the market, 30% is from cleaner sources, 70% is not. If we are only checking कि if we, for example, if we leave our profitability and our name and everything on one side, and we only look at it from an environmental perspective, wouldn't it lead to a better world and a better environment if those 70% people also adopt this method? So we are just putting that particular perspective here, nothing else.
Got it, sir.
So
अच्छा,
how would we conclude this answer?
do we have to? As in, let's see.
सर
हाँ.
सर जस्ट वन डाउट कि सर इसमें ओवरऑल कस्टमर के आई थिंक पॉजिटिव ही इफेक्ट होगा ना, लाइक जैसे कि मतलब लोअर कॉस्ट लग रही है इसको प्रोड्यूस करने के लिए, तो मतलब इवन कस्टमर्स को भी लाइक प्रोडक्ट विल बी एट अ चीपर प्राइस, राइट? सो इवन दे वुड बेनिफिट ना.
हाँ, so मतलब, but where has that been mentioned कि it will be at a cheaper price necessarily? ऐसा लिखा है कहीं पे?
चीपर प्राइस ऐसा नहीं, लाइक मैंने आपको ये क्यों पूछा पता है? जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ कमर्शियल एक्यूमेन, लाइक कस्टमर्स पे भी कुछ तो इम्पैक्ट, लाइक
But pricing for the customer, I mean, whether it is cheaper or expensive for the customers, how does it impact our commercial acumen? My commercial acumen is for my company, right? Picking out an option which makes the most sense from a business perspective. Customer के लिए, whether it is cheaper or not, is his problem, na? But I'm not evaluating this for the customer, am I now?
आई गॉट इट सर, या.
ठीक है? Now,
Sir,
हाँ,
sir, can you scroll back?
to the answer, yeah.
Yes, yeah, sir. So with reference to environmental impact, this last point, there may also be negative environmental effects from decommissioning the old plant. So it is a very exceptional point. So I wanted to ask that while attempting the exam, these kinds of point do not get click into
No
our mind.
extra
So,
credit. Yeah. Because it will not click in anyone's mind. It's because I have gone through this material multiple times, and मेरे दिमाग में SBR constantly चलता है. So decommissioning comes to my mind the first thing when I look at oil extraction.
but sir, how
हाँ.
to improve our expertise for the
You are not see, even if you don't include that decommissioning वाला thing, it's okay. अब मेरा दिमाग का default setting वैसा है, which is why that point comes. Otherwise, no other reason.
Okay, sir.
ठीक है. अब एक बात बताना, is everyone okay with how we have written the answer? यहाँ पे have they asked you to recommend any position or say whether it is ethical or not? ऐसा कुछ बोला है आपको?
नो, ओनली असेस करने के लिए.
Only assess. That means pros and cons लिखो. In favor, against favor. है ना? तो जो पूछा नहीं है वो करना भी नहीं है. ठीक है. If you look at the answer, secrecy option, decision is legal. It depends, fairness depends on perspective. Have we given a one line conclusion कि no, this is fair or no? See, if it is legal, we have mentioned कि see, legality can very easily be proven by looking at what the law says. But fairness, as we have rightly pointed out, fair to us but unfair to other employees and shareholders. Correct. So the point that I'm trying to make is कि you will never, you whenever the verb is assess, okay, present both sides of the coin, but don't say that this is right and this is incorrect. Why? Because they have not asked you to do that. They have only asked you to evaluate it, assess it, मतलब दोनों एंगल से देखो उसको. There is no other expectation from you. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay. अब look at this answer once. एक बार देखो, then I have a question to ask you. ठीक है, एक बार read this for a minute. This brings me to a very important question. Did you refer the pre-scene? Did
No.
you?
Not
No.
specifically, sir.
I don't remember opening that even once. Did you refer any specific chapter while answering this question? No.
No, sir.
What did you do?
Just read the exhibit,
Just the
and
Exhibit,
exhibit.
just
out of
exhibit.
that we extracted the information.
We extracted the answer. That's all. Nothing else. So, this is the point that I'm trying to drive home. Ki it's okay. A, pre-scene has very limited usage, very limited validity in your final answer. Okay. Second thing, rarely do we depend upon too many theories or too many models. See, if it's something from a stakeholder perspective or competitive forces we have to analyze, the Porter's five forces use hoga. That is the case, where you have to open certain specific topics, certain specific models and concepts and apply. Otherwise, that is not the expectation. Okay? Do not be under the impression that you have to specifically remember models and different, this thing. Second part, pre-scene has very limited validity. You saw that yourself. Okay. Today I spent a lot of time going back and forth with the exhibits because I wanted you to understand how to pick out relevant information. ठीक है पूरा पढ़ने के बाद what do we realize कि यार it's better to read the task first and then go to the exhibit. Otherwise क्या होगा आप पहले exhibit पढ़ेंगे, then you will come to the task, then you will realize ki, you know what, now I need to read all of that again. You have read 4 exhibits for which probably you have spent 30 minutes because those are new, right? Then you have read the task, then again you are going to the exhibit. You are wasting time on the same activity on multiple occasions. Why do that? Do it once, read the task first, break down your task like this. The reason I prefer doing it this way is that it gives me a bird's eye view कि exactly क्या करना है. Difference between strategic and operational risk is the second task. ठीक है? And you have identified exhibit 2 and 3. Now, tell me, when they say differentiate between strategic and operational risk, do you have to just talk about strategic and operational risk generically, or should you relate it with the facts of the case? You will get 1 mark out of 4 if you give a generic answer. कि this is what strategic risk means, this is what operational risk means. आपको उसका 4 में से एक ही मार्क मिलेगा. Every time you correlate it with facts of the situation, your score improves. Now, your homework for today is look at task 1B and 1C and just pick out the pointers. What is the verb here? The verb is explain. ठीक है, so you will look at whatever exhibits you have identified and try to collect all the pointers for task 1B and 1C. Don't frame the full answer. Don't pay attention to the expected format. Maybe don't even pay attention to the finer nuances like verb and everything. Professional skills भी मत देखो, बस एक काम करो. क्या काम करना है? Go through the entire information and pick out the points that you will include in your answer. ठीक है, फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन विल टेक अस प्रोबेबली 3 to 4 सेशंस टू फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन मतलब द एंटायर पेपर विल टेक अस 3 to 4 सेशंस फॉर अस टू बिल्ड इट अप कि दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू पिक अप पॉइंट्स, दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू समराइज टास्क, दिस इज व्हाट यू शुड डू फर्स्ट. अभी व्हाट इज आवर बिगेस्ट लर्निंग टुडे? प्री सीन जीरो यूज सो फार. Second learning, breaking down the task makes your job simpler. Task first, then exhibit, not exhibit and then task. And most important learning, we did not apply any theory, any model, anything. We did not open the study hub. हमने कुछ भी नहीं किया. What we did was just treat it like, a comprehension of passage वाला जो question आता है, English के पेपर में आता था ना 10th and 12th में, we have treated it like that. Read the information, pick out the answer. In fact, there is an ACCA article which says if you are not sure of the model, don't apply the model. But if you force feed a model in a situation where it is not applicable, then you will end up losing marks. So they are okay. Out of 20 marks, you might get 16 if you don't apply any model. But if you apply the wrong model out of 20, you will get just 4. Okay, I'll share that resource with you. Don't worry. Okay? So before tomorrow's session, what will you do? You will pick out the pointers for task 1B and 1C. Is that fair?
Yes, sir.
करेंगे उसको? Perfect.
Sir, I have one doubt.
बोलिए.
Like
SBL में doubt?
No, in the answer you wrote,
Okay.
in the legality part, you mentioned that some jurisdictions do not restrict monopolies and all. So how do we, matlab, if we forget to write that or we do not click it in the exam, then will we lose marks or what?
No, you will not.
Okay.
You won't, don't worry. But mentioning the fact that, anti-competitive environments should not be or are not encouraged, ये वाला part important है. It's okay if you don't write the jurisdiction bit, that's fine. ठीक है? Yes, Tahir?
Sir, I wanted to ask that the folder of notes which you have shared with us, Google Drive, so we have to refer it during this 1 month of our preparation, or
If you do, great, but I'm uploading some summary notes also by tomorrow. उसमें एक think of it as 150-page summaries with bigger fonts, not like SBR. You can refer that and just that is also enough.
okay, sir.
ठीक है?
So
Okay.
that's for the revision perspective of the
Yeah.
topics. Got it.
ठीक है? चलो. Thank you. 6:15 p.m. tomorrow. Okay? Bye.
Thank you,
Bye,
sir.
sir.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye,
Thank
sir.
you.
sir.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye. Good night.